Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the YouTube account and we are continuing our progression within the Nightmare Corridor and the Hellscape. Overall, guys, we have a guide that we're going to be covering today. Again, we haven't seen the guides that have been updated from Cursed Friends, but there is a lot of sharing going on with the guides that are coming off of the Chinese servers. So I did want to cover them and try to score a little bit better in here with the guides themselves. Now, overall, there are a few very specific heroes that you do need. So depending on who you're looking to borrow, you can actually see right off the bat, guys, that we have the brand new hero that is in here, and they are running both Liberta and they are running Lucilla within the very, very first formation. Then we have Mahira, the awakened version of Mahira, or Mahira, the awakened version of Belinda, which is super strong, guys. Olgath in here, crushing damage. Then we have Rem, and of course, the last one is hidden, like we've seen. I believe there's a couple of heroes in here that do not have that last formation hidden, but we'll have to see exactly what we can do. And there we go. This is the one, guys, that you need Trishia. Trishia, of course, is super, super important. Maximizing the damage within here and having all of the heroes built. You can see she is almost putting up 9 billion damage. So let's hop over, guys. I'm in the top 14 right now. We scored a little bit better today when we were farming it out, but let's go ahead and look at the guide. All right, so let's go ahead and break this down again. This is coming over from the Chinese server Mercenary Advice, the awakened version of Baden. Then you're looking at Belinda, the awakened version of Sophia, and then Trishia to really finish this, guys. Trishia, the curse job is more complex. Simple and repeatable ideas right here is Trishia, the Green Sparrow Girl, to 6 teams. Cannon Demons can go to 4, which of course is Olgath. Sun Trio can go into the very first one. If you have not built Liberta, you can really put them in the first one. There's no Ball Girl. The Gunner goes to team 6. So if you do not have Trishia, Olgath will actually go to team 6. And the Son of God goes to team 4. Again, kind of a swap that we're going to look at in just a moment. And then, of course, another one right here. So looking at our A team, or the first team right here, guys, we have the awakened version of Baden, and we do have Liberta in there with the Owl. Now, of course, there is Frampton running here. If you don't have Frampton right there, then put in Oden. Oden is still the one that I am running in the formations. Even though I do have Frampton, I seem to score a lot better and a lot higher with building out Oden within this formation, which is kind of interesting to see. So I run this top formation with Oden instead of Frampton in there, and I do a lot more damage, and I do a lot more consistent damage within there. Now, looking at our second team, we get into Mahira. You can see right here, 309.30, position 3, the Black Phoenix Field. So if you do not have Mahira, there is a variation right down here. And there are also a couple ones. So if you don't have Baba Yaga right here, you can go Pop with the Prince of Persia, or you can go in here with Brutus, kind of an interesting sub. Or looking in the second formation, guys, Scarlet is still prevalent. I cannot stress it enough how important it is to build Scarlet in her entirety, still doing incredibly well. So as we get into the third team, this is still running Kanisa and Rook. And of course, this is running the Mosquito or Ivan, which is going to buff up Belinda. Now, that is what this formation is 100% about, guys. It is about Belinda. If you do not have Ivan, you can sub Rain in there. If you do not have Rain, you can actually see down here, there's still one that is running Lorzan within the formation. And then, of course, Moriel was an original formation with Queen that we've been running for quite a while. So again, this is the primary, and you're running the Savage Souffle in there. If you do not have it, is the Fox Fatale that you're running on there, depending on the beast that you specifically build. Now, looking at Team 4, guys, we do have Guineas in here, and as you can see, Liberta is here. If you're not running Liberta into Group 1 or the first group, you can actually put him in here. If you don't have Guineas, we still have right here, guys, Mishka still making a formation. We have the awakened version of Sophia and Brutus in this formation. And then, of course, both of these do have Sophia. The bottom one runs the awakened version of Athalia. So again, super dependent on who you did build. Tamara's in here for buffers. Hodgkin Vathiel in here as the buffers. Anasa in here, of course, for damage, but also for the shielding mechanic that she brings. And it is Talisman that is running in Team 4. Now, looking at Team 5, this again is running the awakened version of Athalia if you're not running it elsewhere. But this first team, guys, it is Rem, which is just carrying the damage as we've seen. Rem is just really, really broken. Even here, guys, The big reason why we have the awakened version of Athalia in here is to buff up the Pierce that we have with the SP effect that they bring. Not only does it bring a considerable amount of damage, but also buffing up the damage that Rem is doing. Then looking at the buffers, guys, we have Albedo as a buffer, Joan as a buffer, Rosaline or Halos in here as a buffer as well, running with the Winged Lion right in here. Now looking at 6, this is the team that kind of changed like I was looking for. It is Trishea, guys. 30960 is the minimum for Trishea to have her amplify the damage that she is putting out. And then, of course, we have Ogath, we have Tiny Tank in here, and we have Palmer, depending on who you have built out. So if you don't have Trishea built out, you could swap in Ogath in this formation, or even looking down here, guys, this changes it up quite a bit. You want the plus 30 on Tiny Tank right here. If you don't have Tiny Tank, then you're putting a Strilda in there. And then, of course, we have the Lizard right here or the Fox. Again, depending where you have them built and how you're building them out is going to make a really big difference if you're running formation number 1 or if you're running formation number 2 in here. And again, this comp, this first team is about Trishea, guys. Even looking here, they included a screenshot. Trishea, 6.45 billion, even almost 10 billion there from the awakened version of Solus. And again, this is a little bit of a different variation than we're seeing up here because it's a combination of running Saurus, which is right here, but also running Tiny Tank instead of running right here with Palmer, because Palmer is actually used in a couple different formations. So they kind of blended both of what you see here. Just based on this, and they ran the Fox in there, even though they dropped out Palmer, it still worked incredibly well. And again, Trishea does have to be built out and does have to be built out pretty high, not only for the stats that she is going to utilize within the game mode, but also with the abilities, guys. The 60 actually allows her to double ult. When it comes to the targets of having Dark Nemora in there, she is going to ult an incredible amount of times, amplifying the damage based on the build that we do have him here. And as you can see, guys, doing a lot of damage. As we continue to see the heroes change, and even looking here, guys, when you look at the newer heroes that we have gotten into AFK Arena, so looking at Tiny Tank, looking at Trishea, looking at Guineas, looking at, Tamris, looking at Demia, looking at Liberta, looking at Lucilla, all of them, even looking here at Ivan, have really taken over in its entirety the earlier slots and the earlier heroes that essentially we had. They have changed up the meta teams an incredible amount through probably the last even, I would say 2 to 3 months. Guys, these meta teams have changed in its entirety, which is kind of crazy. Now, with that being said, the old meta teams still do work, guys. If you're running some of the old meta teams, you might score a little bit lower, but if you're not running with all of these heroes, or again, kind of a combination of those, go through here, try to make all of the teams that you can make based on the build and based on the heroes that you have, and then kind of fill in the slots with very similar heroes. When you look at a Strilda, when you can look at a lot of sub buffers that come within AFK Arena, a lot of the support heroes that can kind of fill the role in a very, very similar situation. All right, guys, so that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and as always, thank you guys for watching.